Finding slopes of lines parallel and perpendicular to a line given in slope-intercept form. So slope-intercept form is y equals mx plus b form, where the m is the slope of the line, and the b is the y-intercept. For this topic, the y-intercept is not going to be useful for us. We'll just be looking at the slope. Now, for parallel lines, lines that are parallel all have the same slope. So the parallel slope will be the same as the original line. I should really write the word slope there, the parallel slope. The perpendicular slope, on the other hand, is going to be the opposite sign and the reciprocal of the original slope. Opposite reciprocal of the original line's slope. So just kind of as an example here, if the original line had slope 1/2, that's positive, so the perpendicular line would have a negative slope. Flipping that fraction upside down, instead of 1/2, you have 2/1. That's what reciprocal means. This simplifies to -2. So a line with slope 1/2, its perpendicular line would have slope -2. If I had -4/5 as a slope, their perpendicular line would be positive because you take the opposite sign and then flip the fraction upside down. So positive 5/4. Let me erase that. In this line right here, we have 3x minus 9. That means the slope of our original line is 3. That's the number in front of the x. That means that the parallel slope is the same. So the parallel slope will be 3. The perpendicular slope will be negative because the original slope was positive. This one looks a little weird because you might not think it's a fraction, but 3 is the same as 3/1. If you flip that fraction upside down, you get 1/3. So the perpendicular slope is -1/3. Let's try the next one. Here we have the line y equals 3/2 x. So the original slope is 3/2. That's the number that's next to the x. If the original slope is 3/2, that means the parallel line's slope is going to be 3/2. The perpendicular slope will be negative because the original slope was positive, so it's the opposite sign, and then if you flip 3/2 upside down, you'll get 2/3. So that's the reciprocal, the opposite reciprocal. And those are those slopes. This one's a little bit more tricky. Consider the line y equals -x plus 5. This one, it might look a little different because you don't see a number in front of the x. So we see y equals -x plus 5. If you don't see a number in front of x, that means it's the same thing as having a 1 in front of it. So this is the same as y equals -1x plus 5. So the original slope is -1, which means that the parallel line slope is -1. -1 is the same as -1/1. So any number is itself over 1. So 5 is the same as 5/1. -7 is the same thing as -7 over 1. -1 is the same as -1 over 1. So the perpendicular slope will have an opposite sign. So instead of being negative, it's going to be positive. And then if you flip -1 over 1 upside down, you get 1 over 1. But 1 over 1 is just 1. So the parallel slope is -1 and the perpendicular slope is +1. So hopefully that was informative. I hope you're having a great day, you're doing wonderful, and I'll see you in another video.